Welcome to our latest update on the ongoing war in Ukraine from the War Insider. Main news for the morning of February 2nd. 620 Russians were killed in the past day. The Russian Federation is actively conducting reconnaissance and preparing for an offensive in certain directions. It is possible that Ukrainian military will leave Bakhmut within 3 to 4 weeks. F-16 fighter jets for Ukraine from Poland, France, and the Netherlands. But before that, let's discuss the changes in the military map of Ukraine for the day. The situation on the border with Belarus remains unchanged. Despite significant losses, the opponent continues to attempt offensive actions in the Lyman, Bakhmut, Avdiivsk, and Novopavlovsk directions. Positional battles continue in the Svatovsk direction. The Bakhmut sector pressure on Krasnohorod does not subside. As well as on the private sectors of Bakhmut, there is a slight advance of the enemy in the latter. In general, this is currently the most difficult section of the front. You are now seeing a detailed map of the battles in the Bakhmut area, which shows the changes in the front line from May 30, 2022, when after fierce fighting for Popasna, the enemy had a significant advance towards Bakhmut to today. In 8 months, the Russian occupiers were able to advance from 11 to 28 kilometers to the west. If we take the last 2 months, when the intensity on this section increased several times, the advance is from 2 to 10 km. The Russian command has deployed sufficient forces to support Wagner and Bakhmut to maintain the pace of the offensive. This is reported by the Institute for the Study of War ISW. Citing statements from Ukrainian military officials that highly qualified Russian military personnel are currently reinforcing the assault units of the Russian-backed separatists. In particular, the reference is to paratroopers. ISW also considers it extremely unlikely that the Russian military will be able to quickly encircle Ukrainian forces in Bakhmut. In January, Russia was able to increase the area of controlled territories in Ukraine by approximately 600 kilometers too, according to European war researchers. Some analysts are inclined to the idea that if the Russians succeed in not slowing down, Ukrainian military may leave Bakhmut within 3 to 4 weeks. The Avdiivsk sector, no changes. The enemy has once again shelled Vodian and continues to pressure Ugoldar. The situation in Avdiivka, Marinka, and Ugoldar is complicated but controlled. The Zaporozhye sector, no changes. The Tavrichesky sector, no changes. Over the past day, the Russian Federation carried out 6 missile strikes, 4 of which targeted civilian infrastructure in Slavyansk, Kramatorsk, and Dzerzhinsk in the Donetsk region, as well as 4 airstrikes. 73 attacks were carried out using salvo-fire rocket systems. Civilians were killed as a result of enemy strikes. The threat of Russian air and missile strikes remains across all of Ukraine. In Horlivka, compulsory measures to obtain new licenses according to the Russian standard are continuing, which is impossible without a passport of a Russian citizen. Occupiers have determined a deadline of May 1, 2023 for employees of transportation companies. Those who do not comply will be fired. In one of the occupier units operating in the Luhansk region, as of January 9, 2023, 3-month contracts have been completed. Therefore, about 300 military personnel from this formation do not receive financial support and cannot leave military service due to the declared mobilization. The Ukrainian Defense Forces missile and artillery units over the past day hit an enemy command center, 3 areas of enemy troop concentration, and a fuel and lubricant supply. Yesterday we reported that the U.S. may announce the transfer of long-range GLSDB missiles to Ukraine. The decision may be made as early as this Friday. The ground-launched small-diameter bomb GLSDB is a low-profile, high-precision ammunition with a range of 150 km or 62 miles that can be launched from rocket systems such as HIMARS. The bomb is equipped with wings that allow it to glide towards its target and a rocket engine for increased flight range. On the other hand, Spain is transferring 20 Planck Mass 113 APCs to Ukraine. They will be shipped to Ukraine on the following Monday, February 6, according to Europa Press. Spain is also transferring 4 to 6 Leopard 2A4 tanks. The rest are being repaired to be later sent to Ukraine. Thanks to France, Ukraine will be able to receive 2 GM-200 air defense radars, which will enhance the capabilities of the Ukrainian Air Force in detecting winged and ballistic missiles, as well as various types of drones. France will also provide training for over 6,500 Ukrainian military personnel, including 2,000 who will receive professional training in France and Poland. Lithuania will help train about 1,600 Ukrainian soldiers over the course of 2023, including considering organizing courses for lower-level command training. The dispatch of fighters to Ukraine is not currently on the European agenda, according to a representative of the European Union for Foreign Policy and Security Policy, Joseph Borrell. CNN reports that the U.S. will not block the supply of F-16 fighters to Ukraine by allied countries if they make such a decision. Meanwhile, the Netherlands are ready to consider requests for supplies of F-16 fighters from Kiev, if such a request arrives, the country's Prime Minister Mark Rutte. Also, French President Emmanuel Macron did not rule out the possibility of supplying fighters to Ukraine. At the same time, the President of France believes that the supplied weapons to Ukraine should not strike the territory of the Russian Federation, and the supplies should not weaken the French armed forces. The representative of the Ukrainian Air Force Command, Yuri Ignat, called the fourth-generation multifunctional fighter F-16 the most likely candidate for rearming the Ukrainian military aviation, which requires about 200 aircraft. He reported that there are ongoing consultations with partners. This is all the news for today. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. We'll be back with more updates and information tomorrow. Thanks for watching.